Authorities in Texas have opened an inquiry into former Penn State assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky. According to a grand jury report, Sandusky took a boy he allegedly molested to Penn State's 1999 bowl game in San Antonio. Texas police say they want to know if any abuse happened while the team was in town. Sandusky was arrested this weekend on child sex abuse charges. The scandal has also claimed the jobs of Penn State's president, athletic director, and legendary head coach Joe Paterno. For more on the situation, we are joined on the phone by Brett McMurphy. He is a senior writer for CBSSports.com. Thanks for being with us, Brett.
Thank you for having me.
Well, there's been a lot of speculation about the status of assistant coach Mike McQuarrie. He was the one who reported the alleged abuse to Paterno, but did not alert authorities. What is his future with the team?
Yeah, Penn State announced last night that McQuarrie would not be coaching Saturday's game against Nebraska because of what they called, quote, multiple threats against him. I know there's been a lot of speculation on why he has not been fired since Paterno and everybody else involved in the incident, or at least that had knowledge of the incident, has been fired. Obviously, McQuarrie is the one that provided most of the evidence to the grand jury on Sandusky, but the school has said they will not fire him, but they did say last night that he will not be coaching Saturday when the Nittany Lions play Nebraska.
So it is official that they will not fire him. Did they say why?
They have not said. Tom Bradley, the interim coach, yesterday talked with the media about taking over for Paterno. He was asked specifically about McQuarrie. He said that's up to the interim athletic director, and then later on yesterday they announced that he would not coach Saturday's game against Nebraska.
All right, and so what happens next for Penn State football?
Well, that's a great question. Obviously, they're wiping the slate clean. They're going to have a new president, a new vice president, a new athletic director, and a new football coach. So certainly they'll have to start at the top, I would think, and bring in a new president at some point. And, as far as what goes on football-wise, they certainly need to make a decision quickly, because the longer this lingers on, I know this isn't on a lot of people's minds, but they're going to be hurt in recruiting-wise, trying to recruit new players to come to this school. And it's just a bad situation all the way around. Ironically, they're leading the Big Ten Conference right now, and they have 3 games remaining, and if they win those 3, they would advance to the Big Ten championship game. If they win that game, they would advance to the Rose Bowl. All of that obviously would be accomplished without Joe Paterno on the sideline.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard work that's been put into this by the students there and the athletes on the field. In the interim, they have a coach to take over for Paterno, but long term, any speculation on who will replace him?
No, it was thought of that, there was a lot of speculation that this would be Paterno's last season, that he would retire. He's had health issues this year. He was injured in a practice. He's coached a number of games from the press box. It's never easy to follow a coach that's been in a school that long. Obviously, it's been as successful as Paterno has. So that was always a major challenge for the new coach. But then when you add onto that the challenge of coming into a situation with this ongoing investigation into the allegations against Sandusky, I think that even makes it a tougher job. So I don't think it's I thought initially it would be an attractive job for a coach to follow Paterno, but now when you add in the other allegations against Sandusky, they'll find somebody to coach next year, but I don't think it's going to be a high-profile coach like they may have been able to get if all of this hadn't occurred with Sandusky.
Brett, there's been so much talk about the football team and the people that run that, but what about the alleged victims here? What's being done to help them?
Well, that's a great question, and that's been a lot of outcry from people, not only in the state college community, obviously online and on Twitter. There's a lot of asking, what about the victims? People have kind of lost sight of that, and it's almost, a large portion of people in the state college community are sympathetic to Paterno and that he got fired, but unfortunately, I think you're right that a lot of attention has gone away from the victims, and that's where I think a lot of people's prayers should be. And obviously, none of these individuals are public. I know that the local papers in Harrisburg have talked to a couple of the mothers of the victims, and they're outraged by what all has happened. they are relieved, though, that finally people believe them, and they've been making these claims for several years. Finally, people believe their story, but certainly, that's something that needs to be done, is recognize these victims, help them as much as possible, because with all this coming out, it just opens up old wounds. I know for the game Saturday that Penn State is asking people to wear blue, which is to support those that have been abused. So at least that's one step, but certainly there's a long way to go with that. And another thing to consider in this is, I think it'll be happening very soon, is that you're going to, I hate to say this, but you're going to see a lot of civil lawsuits brought against the university by these victims, especially when Paterno admits that he could have done more.
Yeah, there's a lot to come in this investigation. CBSSports.com's Brett McMurphy. Brett, thank you for your time and insight. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.